He's slowly cutting. You see that? Oh, he took a hard left hook, but he hit him back. How about that cooking? Thick with the right hand and got him with the left hook. They could catch each other. Duran goes to the body, but he's fine. Leonard's fast hands are something to see. But Duran getting under them. Oh, the right hand hurt Leonard again. Leonard fighting back. Duran can punch with. Why would they want Leonard to take him inside? Nobody hurt. Leonard in trouble again. Duran ran into a right hand that was a little high. Look at Duran. Leonard with a furious assault to the body. But it goes to show you the rope. Oh, a right hand! He hurt Leonard. Duran will never punch himself out. Oh, look at Duran with that right hand. And look at Leonard to his corner a la Tommy Lachlan, but Leonard fighting out of it. He's got Duran hurt. No! Remember I said to you, Ray, I said, oh, a left hook, he might have hurt. He's also pounding to Duran's body. They believe they can get Duran, and Duran is answering back. Look at Ray go to the body. Not doing what they thought he would do. Oh, now look at Duran. He's got Duran hurt. Oh, and Duran. Sugar Ray Leonard at his best. He's trading punch for punch with Duran. Oh, beautiful shot. Close exchanges. Leonard's landing some short punches. There they are. 2, 3, 4 combination. Knock out Roberto's right hand, but never. Beautiful, beautiful punch by Duran in counter punch as he came in. Right up. Forced him to the ropes to fight his fight. He beat Duran to the punch a little bit. Duran, his hand speed. Duran seems to have lost a little of his. But now he opens up. Trying to hit him with the left. Duran turned his back on him. What punches? Low punches by Duran. But it doesn't seem to affect Sugar. This is Sugar Ray. No blink. No reaction to feints. Just the great hand speed. Been a terrific fight. If you could call this action slow. There goes Duran with a nice right hand. It just missed. Here comes Leonard, catches Duran. And up. Duran charging with the jab, turns it into a hook, lands it. Now spit him that time and couldn't do it. They are two master craftsmen. It's not like Angela to tell us fight. Good right hand. Oh, they both do. Duran is on top of him again. Ray Arcel has the stool off the air feet. Good right hand by Duran. You're right. Oh, he hurt Duran with the left hook. Oh, what a shot. Duran being an animal, I want to tell you, Sugar Ray. Oh, what exchanges. What exchanges by Leonard. Yes. Leonard good. What? Duran always relentless and back in the aggressor and pushing and pulling. Throwing punches wherever a good right hand landed on Duran. A good right hand landed, and now they're both exchanging furious volleys. In the other rounds, he slowed down. Oh, Leonard beating the tattoo, but Duran stays on top of him. Look at Leonard fight back, and Duran. Unbelievable. Listen to this crowd. Look at the way they're going one after the other. Duran lose punching power like now. Leonard punched himself out. Duran is starting to come back at him. I've never seen Leonard coming back with a flurry of Duran answer and hit him right left hook. Using the left. Oh, he hit the left. They exchange. Sugar Ray just took a deep breath. It has been the plan, obviously, to go to Duran's body. Leonard now hit him a little bit low. And the bell. Just like the thrill of Manila. Oh, right hand lead by Duran. And a right hand by Leonard. What a sensational. Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray exchanging furious punches. Here comes Duran. Leonard taking the punches, has to back up. And now Leonard trying to come back. But he takes the punishment as he's coming up. Has been hurt. Right now, Sugar Ray has landed devastating body blows, but Duran is still in front of him. Duran, Leonard taking everything. They're yelling, move away, Leonard, but he won't. He will. Oh, he's been hurt. On the front, but he comes back. He's hurt the Leonard. Save his championship, Sugar Ray Leonard must fight. Oh, a great Leonard. Duran, though, comes right. Oh, what a home lift hook. Oh, what a shot by Roberto. And Leonard is right back. The war. 24 seconds remaining in the 14th round. Leonard. Leonard has shown every inch a champion. What a magnificent fighter Sugar Ray Leonard has shown himself to be. Roberto can smile, but he's not punching. Either that or Roberto is saving himself for the last minute. Now he's starting to try to spin him around and hit him. He's making Leonard miss. This one will go all the way. And we're going to have a decision, and then Leonard may have pulled it out with a 15th round. Leonard bombing away, and Duran doesn't have to fight the 15th round. There's the clock. I can't believe it. 6. I can't believe it. 4. Duran thinks he has won the fight. I can't believe it. The bell. It's over. He thinks he's won this fight and didn't have to fight the 15th round. I think he thought so. He thinks he's won. I think he thought he won. They got to do me a favor, fellas. Please. Roberto Duran. Roberto Duran. Luis Enriquez. Don King. The champion of the world. Roberto Duran.
Muchas gracias. Yo sabía que yo me lo ganaba. Yo soy más hombre que él. Aguanto más que él y yo soy más boxeador que él.
Scoring by the referee. 3 knockdown rule waived. You see Sugar Ray Leonard dancing. Duran, a fearsome looking man, no question. There's Leonard. Leonard trying to put his combinations together. The end of round 1. Did not do in the first. Duran in a fury, going after Leonard. But Leonard caught him with a good chopping right, the way he did last time around. There you saw the uppercut. They're coming to the end of round 2. So far, Duran has not been able to do it. Good left lead by Leonard. Quickly breaking. Trying to put Leonard against. Now Duran is staring in Leonard. Now let's see if Leonard tries to use the uppercut in close. How he ducked and made Duran miss. Again was caught by Leonard. Picked off. Short with his blows twice. Duran. Leonard trying to work the left. They're down to the final seconds. Then in the last fight, continuing to show movement. Good left. He beat Duran to the punch with his left. Leonard did. A good left that hurt Duran. His paw into the pattern of the first fight. Duran got in a good sharp right lead. It hurt Leonard. This is what Duran can do to you. Leonard against the ropes. Duran having him where he wanted him. Leonard started hitting him in the midsection and effectively. May run. Good left. A good left by Leonard. Duran sneering, but you don't win with a sneer. Round 7. Both men superbly conditioned. Leonard now, he'd better stop that. Duran is no one to play around with, to posture with, but he is not doing it the right way. He is taunting Duran with his posture. And Duran is saying, come on, fight, fight. Leonard scored with a chopping right that hurt Duran. Duran troubled by the movement. Dundee would be well advised, I think, to tell Leonard to stop that as the round ends. That jab. Leonard has fought a totally different fight and not allowing Duran to pull him against the ropes. A good right. He is working Duran effectively. And Duran must resort to pulling in. And he does. The bully, the man who could stare you down, the man who could do anything it seemed, but he couldn't. He had to fight Ray Leonard's fight, and Ray Leonard has proved himself an utterly great athlete.
WBC welterweight champion Sugar Ray, introducing Thomas, the Motor City Cobra, Hearns, 15 pounds.
Just so much taller.
Of course, the conversation about Thomas Hearns and the considered opinion is that his right hand is only as good as his left hand, and his left hand is one of the best.
Nice job by Ray Leonard. Good, that was a counterpunch. Good counterpunch. I think that made Hearns a little mad. He's going after him.
Very fast pace early on here in the first round. Remember, we talked about the heat. It could become a factor. Round 1 comes to an end. And Hearns sticks Ray Leonard, and Leonard feigns going down after the round is over. Under the 115 mark now to go in the second round, and Leonard again trying to taunt Hearns, and Hearns catches him with the right hand.
Leonard has a slight bruise over the left cheek. A slight little abrasion over the left cheek.
Left jab
Dead stinging. Right.
Again, that left jab landing on the cheek, and left hand by Ray that backs up Thomas Hearns.
To emphasize of the two fighters of how good they are, and he knows how good Sugar Ray is at moving.
Combination that time by Hearns. Once more scores on Ray against the rope. There's a shot to the body that time by Thomas Hearns. Leonard shakes it off, but nonetheless it was right in the belly. Hearns' jab is bothering Leonard. There's no question about it. There's a right hand in the head of Thomas Hearns by Sugar Ray Leonard.
That's what Hearns has to do, is counter Sugar Ray Leonard's counter punches. That was a great right hand. Leonard taking slight advantage of his good right hand. Another good right hand.
So Leonard picking the pace up now against Hearns.
Another good combination. Hearns knows that he better stop smiling and get to work.
Leonard is starting to work inside a little bit more now. He fought the first 2.5 rounds outside. Right hand by Hearns stands Leonard straight up, and he backs off.
That's what Angelo meant by knocking down the punch and throwing.
And the round 3.
Leonard standing straight up, and Hearns is leading the foot. Good right hand. Good right hand by Leonard.
So Ray Leonard continuing to get the more important blows in the last couple of rounds. Got himself off balance, but comes right back up.
Hearns, for some reason, looks like he's slowing down. I don't know if he's trying to good left hook and a good right hand.
Left to the stomach and a right to the head.
That was a good counterpunch by Sugar Ray Leonard.
And again, Ray getting the better of the exchange here. Ducks under that sweeping left hook. Takes a left to the body and a right to the head as Hearns comes back with a combination and Ray retreats.
Those some good punches by both fighters.
Swelling under Ray Leonard's left eye. It does not seem any worse than it was in the second round.
That was on top of the forehead on the left side. It still hurt. Good left hook is partially blocked by Leonard.
5 seconds remain in round 4. Another good right hand by Hearns.
It was blocked. It was missed.
Into round 4, and so far, as you mentioned, it's living up to its billing.
They both know what judges like. And towards the end of the round is very crucial in the judge's mind. If you take the last 10 seconds, you can count on that it could probably go your way. So both fighters, they don't like to just come out and start winging.
Another thing worth pointing out, third Angelo Dundee between rounds 2 and 3. Good right hand by Ray Leonard. Fight has been fought for the large part at long range. Ray again taunts and misses a combination there. Now it's a little showbiz.
Leonard, like I said, a little more leery of Hearns' power, so he has to back off a little bit more when he's taunting.
Both fighters talking in the corner, not really taking any deep, drawing kinds of breaths. Good right hand by Ray Leonard. Co-trainer with Angelo Dundee of Sugar Ray Leonard, just trying to make
good counterpunch to the body.
Got no worse in the 4 rounds since it happened.
Stayed the same. I didn't see him before the fight. It could have been there before the fight. I didn't really pay.
Right hand to the head, and Hearns' legs are wobbly. Ray's corner telling him to stay on him, stay on him. Hearns backs up now. Leonard stalks him. Another left hand.
Hearns is still hurt.
Reeling backwards. Plenty of time left in the round. 45 seconds left. Combinations once more by Ray Leonard. Hearns' legs are still like jelly.
Hearns is definitely hurt, and he's not bringing up that left hand, how he got hit.
Ray not wasting any punches, content to take his time here.
That's a body shot hurting. That body shot hurt Hearns.
Once more, Leonard stalking him. 20 seconds remaining in the round. Plenty of time. Hearns is against the ropes, and he has definitely had the starch taken out of him here.
Hearns isn't holding on. He's not a good defensive fighter.
Right hand misses by Leonard. Gives Hearns another moment. He's still hurt, though. Combinations right above us. Hearns goes reeling back once more. Against the ropes again as we come to the end of round 6. So Ray
a little bit off on his counterpunch
right now. Hearns throws the right hand.
His left hand comes all the way down when he throws that right hand.
Throwing lunging punches right now. Leonard is in close, where he has been most effective in round 3, and now is starting to get in on his man just a little bit more. Hearns trying to measure him and stay at arm's length. Ray going down.
Good left hook, good uppercut left hook.
Once more, Hearns backs up.
Hearns is hurt.
Against the ropes, and he is hurt.
Hearns is hurt.
Leonard again pacing himself now, has plenty of time in this round, just past the 1 minute mark.
I don't think Hearns is going to weather this off. I really don't. He's going to stay, keep those cobwebs until Leonard either finishes them off or he's just going to lose the decision.
Hearns
I don't think it's going to go the distance. Those left hooks to the body right there are hurting.
And right now, Thomas Hearns is an open book to Ray Leonard. Backs up against the ropes.
And his legs almost buckled on him. He almost didn't get his balance.
Leonard giving a lot of pounding to Thomas Hearns, who unquestionably is hurt.
Hearns' right hand is down. That's where he's getting hit to worry too much about Hearns' strength, because he's giving a lot away. That body punch hurt.
Just about doubled up Thomas Hearns. Leonard having things all his own way now.
Hearns is really covering up on those body punches.
Trying to hold on as best he can, but Leonard is scoring just about at will, not missing any punches. Very important. Left hand sends Hearns back to the ropes again, and it wasn't a particularly good left hand. Hearns just leaning on him. Leonard trying to find the one punch.
Good body shot by Hearns.
Another good right hand right there. Scores and sends Hearns into a neutral corner.
That's because his hands are down. He can't get them up in that corner. You got to have them up.
Thomas Hearns looking every part the beaten fighter now. Another right hand drives him back into the ring post. 5 seconds remaining now, round 7. Crowd is on its feet here in Vegas. We come to the end of the round. Hearns continuing to backpedal, try to cut the ring off on Sugar Ray Leonard now. So a reverse tactic, as you mentioned, Randy. Left hand scores.
Looks like Hearns almost slipped there or something.
There's a looping right once more that sends Hearns back to the corner.
It wasn't very hard, but I think it did bother him a little bit. Hearns laughed it off. But like I said, every little bit hurt.
Hearns on his bicycle now, and Ray just walking after him, just waiting. Another right hand. Going after Hearns, who's up on his bicycle now. 20 seconds remain here in the 8th round. That one was a little bit low.
Recuperate from those hard punches.
Ray continuing to stalk him with the left hand. That might have been Hearns' best punch in a couple of rounds.
That was a very good left hook. He had his body in full control of that left hook.
So Thomas Hearns started to come back just a little bit here against Ray Leonard. Whether it's a case of too little, too late remains to be seen. That was Hearns on the glove.
That was very obvious. It was very dumb, knowing that he wants to hurt him again. So he jumped in with that left hook.
Left hand that time by Thomas Hearns. This has been an effective round for Thomas Hearns so far.
So far, this round I give to Hearns.
End of round 9.
Was standing his ground. That hook that was blocked by Sugar Leonard.
Leonard again just continuing to kind of stalk, and Hearns continuing now to circle on Ray Leonard, which was Leonard's strategy in the early rounds. Hearns is looking very fluid, right hand, but it didn't really seem to hurt. Left hand right there by Ray Leonard. Back turns up again as the right hand comes up short of. Thomas Hearns right now has a mouse under his left eye, and in the corner, as Ray comes on winging with the right hand.
Good jab by Hearns.
No,
nice right hand.
Right there. Hearns continuing to press the action. Going to the body of Ray Leonard now, doing so very effectively. Leonard is starting to back up a little bit. And Hearns is finding that eye with some consistency now. There's a right hand, two right hands.
Good jab by Leonard, very effective.
Hearns just working on that eye of Leonard now.
A lot of people would say that Leonard was swinging wild, but it's not a good right hand.
That pretty much is the story of just how even this fight is right now. It looked as though it was going to be saying, I'm hurt. See what Ray Leonard has left. This is very important for Thomas Hearns to hold on, which he's trying to do. Under a minute left. Leonard goes after him again.
Leonard right there was hitting on the brake. Leonard has a bad habit hitting on the brake.
Only
Hearns looks like he weathered through a little bit, was standing there punching with him.
Leonard comes after him again. This is a wild right hand. Hearns on his bicycle once more. A left hand slips by the cheek.
Hearns' power is lefty. You know, he's throwing those slugs.
Outstanding round for Ray Leonard. He does not seem very rubber-legged. Leonard rushes out to meet him. A right hand to the body sends Hearns immediately into the ropes.
Hearns is still very, very sapped from those punches. It'll take more than just a minute rest to recuperate him.
Leonard wants to put his man away right here. Does not want this fight to go to a decision. Hearns on his bicycle. Leonard stalking him. Hearns scores with a couple of punches. Leonard shakes his head. Leonard continuing to stalk his man. 2 minutes remaining. A right hand and that hurts Thomas Hearns, sends him reeling. Hearns is not down yet. A left hand as Ray thought his man was going to go and he didn't, and Hearns is still on his feet. Ray taunts him now. Hearns tries to get out of the corner. Cannot do it yet. Now is at long range. A left hand, two left hands against the rope. Hearns is reeling.
Leonard is still tired. Hearns got a lot of guts. At least Hearns' hands are up. Hearns is very weak, though. He's really weak. He's hurting.
Trying to go downstairs is it's over, and Ray Leonard is the undisputed welterweight champion of the world against a very game Thomas Hearns. You cannot say enough about both of these fighters.
But I knew fully well that the last few rounds were deciding factors. I gave it all I had.
Angelo told you at one point there that you're letting it get away. In the next round, you went out and you hurt him. What were your thoughts then?
Well, I knew I was behind, but I knew it was close. I just had to pull it out, and it was tough.
Las Vegas, at stake, the undisputed middleweight championship of the world. The principles are for them.
Win against Duran. Claimed that Hagler would be awed by this event. This is the time when it would affect him. He would be tight in the first round and perhaps be hurt as Duran hurt Leonard.
Not a scoop, everybody knows it. Round 2 scheduled for 15. Duran with a short left hand. Hagler with him.
Mind is, can Duran hurt Hagler? We haven't seen any evidence. Hagler, as he blocks that right, to use the uppercut effectively on the inside, as he's doing right there.
As Duran was holding on. Duran with a short right. Hagler with a left hand, having no problem moving Duran. Hagler comes from downstairs with an uppercut. Less than a minute to go. Hagler with a left hand on the head, starting to percolate. As the champion, Hagler, starting to unwind.
So far, most have been blocked by Hagler, but 1 or 2 have gotten in. That one was blocked.
The crowd erupts. Hagler seems intent on getting off first. That right hand by Duran was short on the chest of Hagler. Has not been able to solve that.
Well, as we head into round 3, he's landing.
Duran insists that he's in tip-top shape. He trained for most of the summer. Hagler did this round 3. Duran with a left to the head. Hagler with a right hand in the face of Hagler. Another right hand by Duran to the head of Hagler. Hagler with a big left hand that rocked Duran. Duran with a right uppercut beneath an express train of a left hand by Hagler. Hagler caught nothing but air. Round 4. Duran has closed the distance to Hagler. They're closer than ever before.
He'll be very effective.
Or a half. A right hand by... A right to the body by Duran, but he paid the price.
He can hurt Hagler with it. Could do himself some good in this fight.
Round 5, scheduled for 15.
As soon as I said he hadn't done it, he switches to the righty stance.
Left hook to the head. In the workouts every day, Hagler fought several rounds right-handed with Roberto Duran.
And he landed a good uppercut just before that.
By the cheers of the crowd.
Good
Hagler with a right hand, Duran with a right hand. Hagler comes back with a straight left to the head. Duran with a whack of... Right hand by Duran, and that was right on the chin of Hagler, but he's not hurt. And there's the bell. Fight until Ray took out Hearns in the 14th round.
In the last round,
this
Hagler.
Is round 6. A left-hander had put Duran off balance and wide open for the shot. By Hagler from the orthodox stance. Hagler with a left hook to the head. Applying some pressure. He's gone into another gear.
And it's Hagler on the inside.
Duran still coming forward. Big right hand by Hagler from the righty stance. That was his best punch. Less than a minute to go now, and Duran...
And the strength of Hagler taking over here now. The first real middleweight that Duran has faced, and he's finding out how powerful Hagler is. They're anxious for this next round.
Hagler comes out righty.
Has been dominant when they are inside. Good lead right by Hagler.
As you can hear, Hagler pushing Duran to a fast pace here. He wants Duran to work hard.
As he may be doing here against Duran, ran out of gas, got frustrated when the firmer wouldn't go down.
This range, and Hagler rumbling pretty well. Neither man has been... We are approaching the halfway mark of the fight. Al, I want your impressions about how one man has been able to prevail his will.
By Hagler, and now Hagler turns to righty, and watch how effective he is when he turns to this stance.
He made a pivot move and hard jab there by Hagler. Yet another one. A countering right hand by Duran. He's a pretty good boxer. Duran comes out flat, ready to accommodate Mr. Duran if he wants to go toe-to-toe here at close quarters. Another right hand blocked by Hagler. Hagler with a three-point.
Hagler slipping the jabs and pounding the body of Roberto.
Hagler said he learned a great lesson from that controversial draw. He knew he ran out of gas down the final 5 rounds. He said he learned how to...
No indication that Hagler is slowing the tempo. Good
on the round.
Hagler continues also to work the body very effectively.
Eruption, a 3-punch combination, then later some body work. That was the major noise.
Don't think about it.
There's the bell for round 10.
Best work. Look at on the inside. Appear to be the case on the inside. Hagler appears strong there.
They just banged heads somewhat. Chopping right hand by Duran, another one, and the Hagler.
Relatively clean fight considering what many boxing observers were expecting. Discernibly here in round 10.
And a right hand, a hard left hand by Hagler. Duran came back with his own right. And it appears right now that Duran cannot hurt Hagler. Hagler with a
couple of good combinations for Roberto Duran as this fight heads into its final stages. You wonder if the... Certainly the quietest round of the fight.
After going toe-to-toe in the middle round. We're poised and ready for round 12.
By going right to Duran.
Right hand by Duran on head. He's been blocking a lot of punches.
He has shown good defense in this fight. Better, I think, than Duran expected. Duran breathing very heavily, and I think...
As contrasted against the previous round, the 11th. Left hook by Duran to the head of Hagler.
From him.
Duran with a right uppercut. There's swelling underneath the eye, the left eye of Hagler.
This is starting this fight, and of course that swelling under the left eye a factor now.
Duran with the lead right, and he followed up with another right hand. And Hagler's got a problem with swelling underneath his left eye. This is right to his chin, as if to say, come on, hit me. Hagler with the left hand, Roberto with the right.
To do is turn around to the conventional stance. Duran has not been able to land a right when Hagler is a righty.
Right hand. A left hand by Hagler, a right by Duran.
In this round,
right hand by Duran. Hagler came with a right hook. Duran paws at him in disdain. Duran with a chopping hand, and he is sharpshooting for that left eye of Marvin Hagler, as swelling underneath on the cheekbone. We're into the 14th.
Good uppercuts by Hagler.
And backing up, looking to get some punching room. Right hand by Hagler. Force here in the 14th round, but he still sneers at Hagler.
He has come back from an early deficit and fought well toward the end of this fight. In round 14.
In the final minute of the cut.
But here in round 14, despite the sneering, it's been Hagler on the inside dominating the action, as you see him doing right there.
Hagler with a strong...
I think that it is up to Duran to have a big 15th round. He may, in my opinion, he may need a knockout to win, but it's up to the judges. Hagler ripping shots on the inside. He's so effective there, working the body and the head.
Hagler goes right to it here in the final round. Big left hand by Hagler on the chin of Duran, but Duran is okay, so okay, he sneered again at Hagler.
Fight has shown us Hagler, the hard worker in boxing, and Duran, he's the showman. So
Duran now sensing that we only have a few ticks left on the clock, trying to get close enough. Hagler finishing with a drum roll here.
15th round, ripping body and head shots to the head of Roberto Duran.
20-odd seconds to go in the fight. Left hand by, he rocks Hagler with the right hand. Hagler with the left as we head for the bell.
For the winner by unanimous decision, and still the undisputed middleweight champion of the world, Marvelous Marvin Hagler.
Congratulations to Marvin Hagler, who wins by unanimous decision, but it was close by point margins of 2-1 and 1.
And now you're ready for the bell and start the action and get the first round
Okay,
over.
I gave both fighters their instructions in the dressing room. I'm just cautioning you now. Obey my command at all times. Shake hands, good luck to both of you.
Richard Steele from Las Vegas is in charge of the slots of the casino here. Scheduled for 12 rounds, remember. Some experts think that Hagler really should have taken the 15 rounds course. But it is undisputed, and although the World Boxing Association does now have a 15 rounds course, they've accepted this for their championship as well as the WBC. And the really fixing eye coming there from Tommy Hearns. And you really can't afford to blink here, certainly if you're paying 550 pounds. Oh, so Hagler dives straight in there, Hagler. This is where one tries to impose the will on the other. The first bang, walking into a minefield. Oh, what a start. Not playing around with any scouting reports, these two. And it looks as though Hearns landed a right-hand punch there that caught Hagler a little off balance and off guard. Oh, how can this go 12 rounds? This is unloading a lot of carefully nurtured hate, isn't it? It's a question of who takes the best punch. What an incredible start this is. The referee finally having to get in there because they started shoving close in. It's going to be rough. Well, they're not trying to baffle each other with science. We thought it might be a chess match a bit in the opening round. Couldn't have been more wrong than that. Don Curry, there's no way I could see a start like this.
I think this is the kind of fight Hagler wants. And if the fight continues this way, I don't look the fight to go 12 rounds. This is the kind of fight Marvin wants to be in. Good strategy by Marvin.
He wants to draw the big fellow, the long fellow, into a fight. But doing so, he's risking his chin, Hagler. He must figure he's durable enough. 9 years since anybody licked him. And he was only on the deck once, was rolled down, but that was definitely a slip for me anyway. Oh, I've never seen so many punches in the middleweight championship. This in the opening round. Well, Hearns has landed his best shots with that hitman right hand, and it hasn't stopped Hagler in his tracks. It looks as though he's marked around the left eye, Hagler. Don?
Yeah, I think Hagler, that's exactly what Hagler wants him on the rope. Hagler is cut real bad over the eyes, and blood gets in his eyes, but that's exactly where Hagler needs to be, right. Keep Tommy right on those ropes and pound that body.
He's got Hearns pinned in his own corner, and he certainly is bleeding there, Hagler. Heads are banging in. Countdown for the first round, and maybe they'll calm down a bit. As Don Curry said, Hagler really climbing right on top of Hearns. What a battle. It's the best opening round I've seen in the championship at any weight, I think. Absolute mayhem. Well, we'll be glad to hear the round finish to get our breath back, and I'm sure these two were, and the stare at the end there was unreal. Well, I hope that Hagler's not too badly cut, Don. Have you seen a first round like that ever?
I've never seen a first round like that. I think Hagler won that first round. I had to get that first round to Hagler because he came out the aggressor, and that was the right strategy fight. He's testing Tommy's heart.
As you say, it's going to be a battle of courage, and he's saying, okay, let's get it on. And I'm just wondering, I hope that cut isn't too bad there. Goody Petronelli, who spent 20 years in the Navy and was in the surgical unit, he knows a bit about this.
Let's have a look at some replay there. Even in slow motion, these fellas are really laying in there. They may not be classy punches, but they're hurting. And again there from another angle. What a war. It's already lived up to expectation. In fact, it's past it for me. Round 2.
Hold it.
Hearns not used to the southpaw style, remember. The right-hand forward. He's only fought one, the Thailander Ming Sigrin. And that might be against him, but it doesn't matter what style Hagler has when he's walking in throwing punches like that.
Watch the front. Don't hold it.
If he just slows down a second, it'll suit Hearns, Don. He can pot shot a little bit. Yeah, I think the pace will start slowing down here in the last couple of rounds. Hagler's doing the right thing by keeping pressure on him and make Tommy work, because Tommy doesn't have good stamina later on in the round, in the fight. I think if I was in there fighting Hearns, I would fight him the same way. And if I was Hearns, I would look to box more, not to look to try to knock him out with one punch. He just tripped over himself there. That's the southpaw stance did that. He wasn't hurt there, Hearns. Trying to use the ring now, get around a bit. It's the only way he can do it. He's got height and reach advantage, but Hagler's nullifying that completely by standing on top of him. And he's switching stance, Don. Yeah, he is. I think he's making Hearns extend a lot of energy, and that's good, because Hearns are tiring about the next 2 or 3 rounds real bad. Well, I tell you, in both cases, this looks like they got to bite the bullet here, isn't it? It's going to be a hard one. Yes, that's the tactics all right by Hagler, to make Hearns work the whole time, to really play on his stamina. Well, there's no way they can keep this up for 12.
I don't think so.
I think it's going to come down to the will of who's in a better condition. And maybe old-fashioned guts right at the finish. That's what it could be. Well, that's the fight Hagler wanted to make out of it. And Tommy's falling right into his plan. One thing you have to say about Hearns, he has took Marvin's best punch. And that can answer most of the questions that can Hearns take a punch. Bleeding heavily again, Hagler. He won't want to be in there too long for cuts to worsen, obviously. Even though Hearns was holding there, Hagler was still managing to throw punches back. And Hearns looks at Ace floundering. What condition these fellows must be in to absorb these punches, and mostly Hearns having to take them. I think Hearns has to get off the rope. If he get off the rope, he will get stopped. But coming right at the end of the round, it'll do Hearns a favor. And again, a stare coming from Hearns there. He's not bothered at all, it would seem, though, Don. I mean, he was really under fire there, and yet the way he looked at Hagler was, it's okay, if that's the way you want it, let's go. Yeah, I think so. I think Hearns has got off his game plan. He needs to stay back and box more, because Marvin is making him extend a lot of energy.
You got to put a band.
And you can hear there Emmanuel Stewart absolutely pleading with Hearns, boxing, stay in there. Well, I don't know about that. I couldn't count those. It must be an expert who can do that with a computer. They are treating Hagler's cuts around the eye there. Goody Petronetti's got a night's work there. They use the adrenaline, 1 in 1,000, which is the only thing they're allowed to use. All those coagulates are checked by the inspectors.
Right?
So into the third. And the hitman has been hit a few times, and he's also hit back. And Hagler really has fired himself up for this fight. He always knew he was mean, moody, and a bit magnificent at times, and he's proving it here. And he's making life even more awkward for Hearns by switching stance. But Hearns trying to obey Emmanuel Stewart's orders now to get boxing done. I think he's been smart now by boxing and moving. Funny, he keeps falling over Hagler's feet, doesn't he? Well, Reggie, I think as a left-hander, it's very difficult to fight a left-hander. I think Tommy needs to grab and hold him, just like he's doing now, and stay off the rope. He's also tripping over a few right hooks, by the way. Hello, what's happened here? He's taking time off for the doctor to look at Hagler. Oh, don't say this is going to stop in the third. He said, let him go there. Dr. Romeo said it's not interfering with his side. It looks as though it's on the forehead, Don, is it?
It is, but the blood can flow in your eye, and blind you.
That'll only make Hagler even more angry, because he probably figures by now that he can't go 12 because of the injury. Although we're almost on the ring apron, Don, of Curry and I, it is hard to see the full extent of it, but the doctor looks quite right. Oh, that's how he went with Ray Leonard when he caught him, Hearns. His feet unbuckled, and when Hagler moved in, the knockdown timekeeper in front of me, it looks like a formality in the third round. Punches to the body there. Hagler made up his mind, he's got to go all out. And Richard still saying, no, you're not in a position to defend yourself. 3 rounds of absolute mayhem. And it's quite obvious, really, that Hagler was easily the better puncher. And Hearns just could not absorb those punches, Don.
I think Hagler went in with the right game plan to make a fight out of it. And that's exactly what he did. I think if Hearns would have laid out and tried to box and weather the first 3 or 4 rounds, I think he would have been in the fight. Before the fight, you and I both favored Hagler because we figured that he would, use his exceptional strength, and this willpower that he's got is phenomenal. I think Hagler came out in the right fashion. I think Hearns, he's that type of fighter where he goes out and he starts very fast in the first round, and he's not a very patient fighter. I've been saying it all week. If Hearns be patient, he can win this fight, but he's not a very patient fighter.
He got drawn into it. He had no options, really.
Well, he could have stayed there and lost the first couple of rounds, but he fought the wrong type of fight.
You usually talk about winners in these situations, Don, but obviously as a light middleweight, let's have a look at this replay, of course, while I'm asking you that question. Right over the top, and it's amazing, really. It was a long punch, and he could not control his legs. He was like a kid in a playpen there.
Yeah, Tommy has a big upper body, but he has no muscles on his leg, and Marvin caught him with the right hook, and that was the damage.
And he really looks as though he's concussed. What a picture. And from the overhead camera, the Rocky shot, I call it, there it is. A long punch, and you'd have thought it was right at the end of it, and they're almost like a giraffe, a baby giraffe trying to go for his first walk. And there's no way he's going to get away from this, because you can run, but you can't hide in this game. And his body just completely collapsed.
I think so. Like I said, Tommy came out with the wrong fight. I told him if you be patient and whether lose the first 2 or 3 rounds, don't get into a dog fight, and that's what he did. Got into a dog fight with Marvin, and he lost.
There's the punch that mattered, the one that came over again. And it really is an incredible scene there, the way Hearns is at least trying to get away from him, but he knows probably at that point he's got no chance. And although he weighed a half a pound heavier than Hagler, he was still in many ways the smaller man.
Cassidy.
First punch by Hagler. Clean miss. Nice combination by Leonard.
21-foot ring so far. Hagler content to cut off the ring, and Leonard with the right hand.
Tough to keep up with these guys. There's the shots. Southpaw, and yet he's fighting orthodox. I don't know why. I think Marvin is making a mistake. He's trying to prove that he can outbox Leonard. It's not necessary. Watching Leonard in camp, he couldn't handle southpaws.
Left landed by Hagler, his first heavy punch of the fight.
Much better as a southpaw. And Hagler outpunched him in that exchange. Come on, punch it out, punch it out. Good combination by Leonard, Tim. Right hand, left hook.
Moved by Leonard out of that corner. Hagler thought he had him there. Now Leonard scores a combination. confidence seeming to build as each second of the fight ticks away.
Good body shots by Hagler.
Good combination again. Good right hand by Leonard. Hagler trying to pull him into the corner, but
now Leonard is fighting left. Tim, he's looking to nail Hagler. Got nailed himself that time with that right hook.
Hagler still talking. Leonard would hope it's in frustration.
Hagler's starting to get the range a little bit now, though, Tim.
Finally got him in the corner, landed a left.
Seemed like it's just was starting to get the range.
The conditioning of these two athletes is extraordinary. Hagler solid right by Hagler. Leonard stopped on the ropes for the first time in the fight.
And hit a couple of good body punches. Now he's punching back, but Hagler, Tim, he doesn't belong in there.
Into the round. You can hear that in the corner. Good combinations there by Hagler, counter-punching well. Better timing. Near the end of the fifth round.
And Hagler's banging to the body, Tim. 3 solid body punches.
Furious, even though Hagler didn't throw a lot of punches the first 3 rounds, he used up a lot of energy.
And Ray is doing nothing to make him miss. He's just missing.
4 punches inside by Ray. Hagler looking a little... Leonard punches back. Final seconds of the 6th round.
Even when Leonard misses.
On the other hand, Ray has also slowed his footwork pace, but he landed a good left hook, and he got one back from Hagler.
Hagler's was a harder punch. Nailed him again, Tim. Solid punches by Hagler.
Hagler finding the range by Leonard when the punches arrive. And flurries back. Those were blocked by Hagler in the last exchange.
Oh, there we go to Muhammad Ali. A nice combination. Those are the solid punches.
Yep.
Man. Those are the solid punches. He has Ray in a little trouble now.
Bang into the body. Uppercut scored at the bell. They don't hear the bell.
The one punch that I'd be using if I was Hagler would be a straight left hand to the body. They're not just little jabs. They're stiff. Good right hook. Hagler's able to move right through it. Leonard hit him with a right hand, didn't move him. He was able to counter with a left hand to the body. How much Marvelous Marvin misses that. But he doesn't get discouraged. He misses, he punches again. That was the best punch of the fight.
Hagler straight
best
down the middle.
Best punch of the fight. For Hagler.
Into the Leonard corner. Short right uppercut.
He's nailing him now, Tim.
Right to the chin.
That's where he has to put that.
Throw a punch out of this corner. Now he does. Trying to bang his way out.
Look at that determination of Ray Leonard. You talk about a champion.
They're on its feet. Trading.
Leonard is punching in desperation now, though, Tim. Really goes on. Everybody tries to be tricky. Nothing's going to help him, though, Tim. Not when he's tired. Well, we said they were going to have to fight, and they're fighting. Battle that Ray Leonard won when he got this fight to be 12 rounds. Those uppercuts of Marvin's starting to land now, Tim. Short little uppercuts. They clearly cut the belly. Big, solid punches.
Good flurry by Leonard.
Richard Steele is doing a good job as a referee.
Wild miss on a trick play by Filippo from Los Angeles. And
so slow getting off Hagler. He's got the shot. Beautiful combination.
Solid body shot. Hagler, and Leonard escapes off the rope. He lands a combination.
He should be throwing that left hand down the pipe. Just did it in. But that's what he should be doing all along.
3 minutes.
Well, you know, Goody Petronelli in the corner. Oh, good straight left hand by Hagler.
And look at Leonard just able to... And Leonard flurry against Hagler.
Well, Timmy's giving this round away, though. Sugar Ray, you know, the fans think
showing that psychologically and physically now he's in control.
It's going to be interesting scoring, Tim. You know, you like the flash.
Leonard busy on the rope. Hagler trying
There'll
to
be no knockout. No knockout.
Judge Lou Filippo scores the bout. 115, Marvin Hagler. 113, Ray Leonard. Judge Jojo Guerra scores the bout. 118, Leonard. 110, Hagler. And Judge Dave Moretti scores 115, 113. By the winner, by a split decision, and new middleweight champion of the world, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah, I spoke to both fighters in the dressing room. I'm cautioning again, obey my commands at all times. If there's no question, shake hands, good luck.
Very quickly, Michael Nunn, what do you expect to see these two men trying to do in the early going?
I figure the first round is going to be like a full-round process between both fighters. You know, Tommy's going to come out and try to get the jab established, and Ray's going to just sit back and let him pick.
Who danced his way into the hearts of boxing fans in the early part of the decade.
That may be a message punch.
Just missed with a right cross, and Hearns smiles and waves as if to say, come on back. But right now, it is Leonard who is seizing the initiative, as Hearns has stopped throwing the jab.
If this is a war as this fight was advertised, right now it's just a war of attrition.
Both fighters remain a little out of range of one another, and just as I say that, Leonard is able to step in and land. Round two coming to a close. Leonard switches to a southpaw stance and takes a right hand in the face for his trouble. Not in such a way as to do damage to Tommy. Right hand by Hearns, and Leonard is stopped in his tracks. Hearns gains confidence and knocks Leonard down. It has long been regarded as one of the great weapons in the sport. Tommy Hearns' right cross. Now he tries to land it again. Leonard fighting back.
Keep remembering that when he's hurt, Sugar Ray Leonard is dangerous.
Well, he's hurt right now.
And he is somewhat hurt, a little stunned right now. And Hearns is wary of that reputation.
Hearns landing with the left. Has not been able to get the right in a second time.
And Ray is going after him. And Hearns is laying back.
And Reyes lands a right and a left to show Tommy Hearns he's out of the temporary stupor. Hearns comes back with another right. They stand toe-to-toe and trade blows. Good right inside by Leonard to the body. Solid shot. Tries to follow it up. Hearns missed with the right. Leonard is seizing the initiative, but giving Hearns a lot of chances. And he landed the right there. And indeed, suddenly it begins to look like a war.
Yeah.
Just missed. It is Leonard who looks tentative and Hearns who looks commanding in round 5. Great left. And now it is Hearns who wobbles again.
holding on for dear life, which is something he didn't do in the first fight.
A right and a left. Leonard just missing with, and a right lands. Hearns in a lot of trouble with a long way to go in this round. Hearns not giving back. Richard Steele looking carefully. Tommy throws a wild right that leaves himself open. Hearns grabbing again as he did against Kinchin. Now he gives Ray a chance to wail away. Leonard landed another right.
And Hearns is fighting back valiantly, unlike the first fight.
And now Hearns seems to regain a bit of himself.
Hearns has taken some of Leonard's best stuff here.
Very close to hitting on the break, but Leonard got away with the left hook. But it looks as though Hearns may weather the storm. Reminiscent of round 6 in the first fight, Leonard again completely turns things around.
And that's the best round of all the rounds they fought. And Hearns seems to have recovered. He has trained very hard for this fight.
Leonard got a jab in and managed to slip both of Hearns' punches in return. Leonard showing off his ability to slip the jab, steps in and hits Hearns with a right cross, and Hearns comes back with a straight left.
How do you score the fight so far?
Larry, I've got it 4 rounds to 2 in favor of Tommy Hearns. For the first 4 rounds, I thought he was fighting a perfect fight. He had Ray Leonard on the end of the jab.
And that could become a crucial factor in this fight tonight.
Hearns landed a left that backed Leonard up. Ray Leonard began this round standing very close to Tommy Hearns, and he may pay a price for it. Hearns wailing away. Leonard staggers against the ropes a bit. Tommy's leaving himself open if Ray can come back with anything.
This is the most trouble I've ever seen Ray Leonard in right here. He is badly hurt. Older fighters are more vulnerable to getting hit, and Ray is getting hit more good punches than we've seen him get hit with before.
And right now he's been hurt badly enough that those punches he's throwing are pawing, waving punches with no snap behind them. It is Hearns who's doing all the damage here in round 7. Now Leonard begins to get some starts back in his punches. But Hearns lands the right again. Surely few have ever wanted more badly to win a fight than Tommy Hearns wants to win tonight. Too much? We'll see.
Sometimes I've thought, Jim, that he almost wanted to win it too much, and that tensed him up.
Leonard coming back with a furious assault to the body. And when he throws to the body, Hearns does not throw back at it. Isn't it a gamble falling as far behind on points as he may be falling at this moment?
Yes, you know, by fights going 12 rounds, it's not beneficial to Ray Leonard by letting Tommy take control.
He may not have any choice. Hearns continuing to stalk Leonard around the ring. Right cross just missed. Leonard with a right and then a left.
At this weight, Tommy Hearns is obviously stronger defensively than he was at 145 pounds in their first fight. Given the size of his body, this is a more natural weight for him, and he appears to be stronger at this weight, at least in this fight.
But of course it was at something close to this weight. He was knocked out by Iran Barkley, knocked down by James Kinchin. signs of fatigue. Still dominating much of the action with his jab. Solid right cross by Leonard, partially blocked though, I think. Or how about none, Hearns one?
Well, Tommy Hearns has already said he wants no part of Michael Nunn.
He may want part of the money which could ensue as a result of a bout like that. Hearns just missed with a right hand that might have ended matters then and there.
Your thoughts?
Hard left by Leonard, and Hearns is staggered momentarily again. Leonard steps in. Not much time to go to work on this. And Hearns again holds on.
87-83, 6 rounds to 3. Favorite Thomas Hearns.
Left hand on the face. Leonard may have a shot here.
2.5 rounds.
Leonard goes to the body again. Trailing on points in the closing minutes against Tommy Hearns. He's been in that position once before. Oh, a solid right hand by Hearns. Spectacular right cross, and Leonard is in trouble again.
And Ray Leonard had a look on his face there that I had never seen before.
A look of utter bewilderment.
Trying to regain his composure, and he jumps back in with a right hand. Does he have enough left to do any damage with it?
This is the first time in Ray Leonard's career that he's been knocked down twice in a fight. Both times he was the victim of sensational right crosses from Thomas Hearns. Hearns just missed with a haymaker. Leonard landing with the left. And stepping back in.
Tommy Hearns isn't holding back when all he could do is play out the round.
This is the pride of Tommy Hearns. He would love nothing more than to put Leonard down for good.
There is no quit in either of these great warriors. Can Ray Leonard do it? He's got a minute to go and an exhausted fighter in front of him.
If Hearns goes down, he'll wonder for the rest of his life why he gave Leonard this chance. In the 12th round of a fight he had apparently won.
They're coming across the finish line with nothing left. They've given every ounce of what they have in their hearts, and they have big hearts.
for the fight. A statistical profile of what you just seen.
Jim, I've got it 7-5 in rounds, 115 to 111 in favor of Thomas Hearns.
Ray Roth scores about 113 to 112 for Thomas Hearns. Tommy Kazmarek scores it 113 to 112 for Sugar Ray Leonard. And Dolby Shirley scores the bout 112, 112. This bout is a draw.
It goes without saying, we take this as a major shock.
Inside the ropes of this ring. He's using all of it in his first round. Good jab by Leonard.
Duran looks very good. He looks in good shape.
Looks in good shape, but he hasn't landed a punch as yet.
Well, that one there, the first. The right hand to the side of Leonard's head. A good left back from Leonard.
Duran has a very quick right hand himself, so
yes,
Leonard can't be stationary too long.
Nice right hand by Leonard.
In the beginning of the fights. So I would suspect that Duran would have to throw some punches. The main thing which I worry about by Duran getting down to 158, getting zapped into his energy. This fight here, they both play the same game. Duran is like that also.
Duran getting a little more range counter-punching and lands a good right to the body. So far,
Duran, there we go. He's working on Roberto's mind.
The first bolo move.
Bolo move and ended followed by the jab. That's what he did.
Left caught Duran leaning.
Well, what's funny, they've both been, well, Leonard's been knocked down twice, and Duran's been knocked out. So they both should have some kind of confidence that knowing that one of them can go.
And Leonard's concentration is just great in this fight. A thinking man's fighter.
Final seconds, round 3, and there's the little nostalgia from New Orleans.
If he keeps this up.
Duran. And he's got Duran hesitating.
Right hand by Duran.
Started it with a left hook and landed the right behind it.
Duran has to get closer.
Really bang heads in there.
WBC rules. If Richard Steele did not rule that a foot.
Contact occurred that caused the cut inside Leonard's lip. See, they both go in together, and that's a pretty good smack there. No question. Leonard circled out of the corner easily. Now Duran sits in there, hoping to
nice combination by Leonard. Good left hook.
Good left hook. Good right
other left. So Duran gambled there and lost, and now Leonard picks up the pace. A good left and a right behind it.
And he thinks he has Duran hurt. Well, I told you, Tim, that he's settled down eventually, and he has.
Fight Leonard. Now you give Leonard this much rest back.
Right hand by Leonard. A left to the body. Counter from Duran. That got Ray's attention.
He nailed Duran with another right hand.
And then the bolo here, punching on the break. And a right hand lead
by Leonard. And Duran is not punching back.
Richard Steele about the refereeing. And there's the bolo with...
But that was a foul, Tim. Richard Steele.
And he gets tapped on the chin. His leg begins to wobble a little bit now.
Good left hook by Leonard.
Duran is throwing half-hearted punches now, Tim. You notice that? Out punches him again.
Good combination by Leonard, snapping the head back. But he summoned up quite a lot at age 37 against Barkley.
Big right hand by Sugar. He respects Ray's punching power. There's another right hand.
It goes long rounds.
Final seconds of the 8th, the body attack from Leonard.
Duran should not be waiting.
Now Duran planning there, lands.
When he tries to get out of the way, see, there you go.
Nails you with a few punches, wins the round, and that's all he has. There he is again.
Now Leonard driving Duran back into the rope.
A little bit of something back.
I don't agree with that, Marvin. I think he thought he could win this fight, but Leonard has discouraged him.
And Leonard is banging him right hands to the ribs, and there's that left hook after showing him the right hand.
Punch.
Well, that's it. Then and there's the right hand again.
Combination landed by Duran, but Leonard didn't seem to disturb him in any way.
Takes chances, Ray. Way ahead in the fight and really reached with that right hand.
He wants to come right at him now and take him out of here.
Forget the crowd, just win the fight.
I can't believe why Duran is not moving his head to the side. He's moving it straight back.
Ooh, big right hand by Leonard.
By Duran, and Leonard's eye is cut.
Rocked Duran, and they clashed heads again.
That was the hardest shot.
Leonard, they're telling him no problem.
What about
Leonard's right on the eye, Tim. It was a right hand by Roberto Duran that opened that cut.
And you saw a big right hand by Ray Leonard that buckled the legs of Duran.
Switching from southpaw to right-handed.
And Duran is mugging. Duran should be punching, not mugging.
Well, this fight's going to be over.
Final seconds. That's it.
WBC Super Middleweight Champion of the World, Sugar Ray Leonard.